Okay, before we even start, I just want to suggest that you should go play this game for yourself. If you are a huge fan of platformers or you just like them in general, I think you would enjoy this game a lot. But I just wanted to say that because I will be going to like spoiler territory, so just in case, yeah, I'd suggest go playing it before you do watch this. But if you're fine, then enjoy, I guess. Okay, before we do hop in to talking about the game, I wanted to go over a brief, I guess, summary of the history of the game. Because Pseudoregalia was originally made for a game jam and was developed by 6 individuals who are all on screen now. It won first place in basically all the categories, which, in my opinion, that is very well deserved. This game has a bunch of effort put into it, especially for a game jam game. But other than that, the version you will see me playing is the Steam release version, which the only real change that I think I've noticed from the Game Jam version to the Steam version is the way SYBIL looks is completely different. Her model looks more high quality or just better in the Steam release. But the Game Jam version you can see on screen now compared to her actual, like, I guess, model now for the Steam version. Other than her model change, though, I don't think there was much changes between the two. I think a majority of, like, the map, the songs, everything about it, it stayed pretty much the same. Though, of course, there could have been stuff added to the Steam version, because with the Steam release, they had more time to go back and, like, do other stuff. But yeah, other than that, that's all I really wanted to talk about in terms of the history. So, let's go ahead and get started. Pseudoregalia is a Metroidvania platformer in which you go around a dream state world, I guess you can call it, and you look for upgrades and abilities to access different areas of the world. And you will essentially be stumbling across different, I guess, movement upgrades, because this game is very movement based. You can get wall jumping, sliding, slide jumping, bee hopping, and some other simple little movements like that. And some stuff does need to be like combined together to get like the full extent of the ability. But other than that, I find this game's movement extremely fun, and I personally may not know all the ins and outs of it. I know there's a bunch of little techs you can do to get from one place to another without certain abilities, but you can look up people doing that themselves. Because me personally, I am not good enough for that. I'm very much a beginner when it comes to platforming, but I still had fun learning everything. It was pretty easy to get the hang of, and I'd suggest really trying it for yourself. But let's not waste any more time, and let's go ahead and hop into the game. This title screen is really good. I love that it fits with the whole game's aesthetic, and I love that you get to see SYBIL just kind of floating in limbo, it kind of looks like. Just like kind of drifting into like her next dream, I suppose, whatever she has to do. But other than that, you kind of just have her, and of course all your standard option buttons, play button, all that stuff. But yeah, you all know what a title screen is, but I just wanted to bring it up because I do really enjoy the way it looks. Upon actually like selecting a new game, you'll be put on a screen that basically shows all your save files, and upon clicking one of your save files, you will be put into the game. But before we do that, I feel like there are some things you guys should probably know, just in case, and that is that there are 8 different areas within the game, all of them having their own look, and some having an upgrade or ability in them. This can sometimes become a maze of going back and forth into like areas that you've already been, but I feel like that does add to a lot of the enjoyment that I had in it, of course. That, dreams aren't really supposed to make too much sense. You aren't really supposed to know why things are the way they are. or like if they don't look realistic, then like you don't really understand it. But I do really enjoy that it does confuse you a little bit, because it did confuse me a few times when I first 100%ed this game. But luckily, in one of the most recent updates, or an update from 2 years ago, a map was added to the game in order to make traversal a little bit easier for you, which, in my opinion, that is very helpful. I am very glad for it. But you do have to know, I guess, a bit of map knowledge, just like from walking around, to understand where you are on the map. But regardless, it is still very helpful. I do thank Ritzler for actually implementing that. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. We can go back to continuing and see what happens when we start a new game. Upon actually starting the game now, you will load into a cutscene that basically shows the first area of the dungeon, and you'll see that there are goat butlers hanging in these cages before it pans down into a mirror where SYBIL comes out of. And once this ends, this is where we're given control and can start to explore. After you're done exploring and you leave through that purplish fog that's blocking the entrance, you can start the search and figure out your controls, like jumping, ledge grabbing, and all that other stuff. And if you continue this search, you'll be brought to your first of many abilities. This is a Dream Breaker. This is basically your weapon for combats. It can be used against enemies and can be used to break down walls. You'll see that within the description of it, it talks about magical power and healing. This basically enables that bar next to your health. Upon hitting an enemy, that bar will slowly fill up, and once you hold F, SYBIL will play an animation and ring, I guess, some invisible bell, and it will heal back essentially one of your health pips. Though it's best to be aware that while you are healing, you cannot move at all until that animation is finished. Once you do go up to that one breakable wall and actually get through it, you'll be met with one of the many enemies in this game. I guess this little hatchling creature, or I guess half-cracked egg. It doesn't do much besides walk around, but if you do run into it, it will damage you. But these guys, they are a good source for your magical power, since later down the line, they will typically be in clusters. Following this passage out will lead you back to the one room that you found when you came out of the spawn location area. And this will lead you to a room that has this little crystal in it. These are your save points, and the way you access them is just by smacking them, and that essentially just saves your game. Now, for the room past the crystal, this is essentially just a room to test your skills, or just to let you practice getting used to the movement and everything. Think of it as just like, I guess, a little tutorial room, because it does have some enemies in it that you can hit and get your magic power up. And it isn't too hard. This is very simple for a little tutorial on how to move around this game, I guess. Once you complete this area, you'll be brought into a cave system, or just like little pathway cave system, which will lead you to another save crystal, so make sure you hit that. And then, if you go to the left of this room, you'll see another door, and this leads you to your next ability. This is the slide ability. This essentially just lets you slide under walls and rubble that might be located around the map. Though, as the game tells you, it is incomplete, so you do need to combine this with another ability to get its full potential. But for right now, it is just used to basically get under traps or get under holes in the walls. Upon leaving the sliding area and going past the save crystal and going under the rubble that was next to it, you'll see that this next room is a jail, or I guess like some prison place. I don't really know how to describe it. But there are two different ways we can go. The left door will lead you to a ledge, or like a dead-end place, which we cannot reach yet. We will need to come back with abilities, and that's basically what the game is saying, that you will be doing some backtracking when you do get abilities. And upon leaving that room, if you just decide to go straight instead, you will be met with a hallway that at the end of it there is a locked door. There's also a goat butler in this cage that if you talk to, he basically says our disguise, it sucks. And it won't fool whoever the Strong Eyes character is, but we'll get to that soon. Now after you're done talking to him, and you just do some simple little parkour, you'll reach this other side, but once you do, this guy right here, this is Strong Eyes. He's the first boss you'll fight in this game, and is actually a pretty well-balanced and fun boss, but I wouldn't be surprised that in your first playthroughs you might struggle, because me personally, I struggled a little bit on my first playthrough as well. His attacks, they're fairly simple. He'll just sling rocks with his sword, usually if you're far away from him, or he'll jump in the air and slam down his sword, which can stun you and send you flying backwards. He can also try to rush forward and swing at you. He can also do a simple slam attack, and he can do a simple sweep attack. The majority of these will knock your Dream Breaker out of your hand, so you'll need to retrieve it afterwards. After dealing enough damage, he'll scream, and this gives you some times to heal, but you do not want to stand close to him at all, because he will knock you back with the radius of the scream. I'm pretty sure his scream will make him a bit quicker and make his movement speed and attack speed a lot quicker, so you will have to be wary of that. But other than that, I don't think his scream really does anything else besides just signal that, oh, I guess it's a new phase or something like that. The music during this boss fight is also really good, but this game never misses with any of its music, to be honest. Upon actually defeating him, the gate that closed originally will open, and you'll get access to a small key. This is what you're going to use for the locked gate that was out in that hallway earlier. But all you have to do is quickly just get out of this arena, and then go over to it and smack the lock with your Dream Breaker, which will then open it. This is basically where the tutorial ends. You'll get to Castle Sansa, and basically you'll just have free will to go wherever you want and collect your upgrades and aspects and whatnot. But now that that's over, I can now talk about all these maps that you will encounter, and I'll talk about the upgrades and everything afterwards. So just be aware, I am now going into heavy spoiler territory, so if you're still watching, I'm going to expect that you've probably played the game before, or you don't mind just being spoiled about it. But again, before I do go into this, I'd suggest go playing the game for yourself. Alright? Alright. Like I said earlier, this game has 8 different maps, or areas, that you will be exploring, and are essentially where you're going to be finding your upgrades and aspects. All these have their own specific names and specific looks, and they go by Dilapidated Dungeon, Castle Sansa, Listless Library, Sansa Keep, Twilight Theater, Underbelly, Empty Bailey, and Tower Remains. Of course, Dilapidated Dungeon is the first place that you spawn in. This is where I basically went through the entire tutorial with you guys. But as the name suggests, it is just a dungeon that is in ruins. Castle Sansa is the place you'll be right after finishing the tutorial. It's probably one of the more important areas in the entire game because it does have this little crossroads place, which is basically how you're going to be breaking off into other areas of the map and where you'll be finding other areas to go to. But yeah, it's pretty important that you know where this place is. Listless Library may or may not be the third place that you find. It's a very chill area. I don't think it has any enemies at all in it. And it is what it is. It is a library, so there are books on the shelf, each one having their own little interactable option and just giving you a little excerpt. But other than that, this place is really chill, and I really enjoy how it looks. You'll most likely find Sansa Keep within this little opening on this Castle Sansa part, and the room that you spawn in will just have a little weird looking goat butler guy with the wall texture on him, but other than that, that's kind of just it. Twilight Theater is as its name suggests. It's a theater slash, I guess, auditorium with some rooms sprinkled here and there, but the main room for this area is just a massive theater, but you will have to do some little, like, maneuvering and, like, parkour, because you have to get over the little gate that will be blocking it, and according to one of the goat butlers, this theater is closed down, so that's great. Underbelly, as its name suggests, is kind of like an underworld or an underground of the castle. This place is also quite dark, so traversing might be a bit challenging, but there is an upgrade that will give you light that I will speak about later. But for the most part, it is kind of just an underground, scary, underworld area, but it is very cool. The music here is also very fitting. I like it a lot. Empty Bailey is like, I guess, the outside, like, boundaries of the castle, because there's like this little village area that has a few buildings scattered around. There's like a bell tower and everything. The ambient track that plays for this place too is actually really good. It fills me with like a sense of freedom in a way, I suppose, because we are kind of outside. Since we were inside for so long, you finally get out. You get to move around a bit more. But yeah, I do find it really cool, and I really do like this area. Tower Remains is the area that's at the end of that broken bridge that you will cross when you go into Empty Bailey. This place is definitely one of the coolest. It's definitely up there with Empty Bailey in terms of my favorite areas. It has one of my personal favorite tracks. It works really well. Since this place is really important, and you will be coming back to this area quite a lot after you collect some other items, and it harbors something that I will discuss later. But for right now, I think that is all the maps that you need to know of for right now, so let's go ahead and move on to the abilities. Like I mentioned earlier, the abilities are what you're going to be finding around the areas of the game. Some areas might harbor them, some might not, but that's the whole purpose of searching for them. But other than that, the abilities are just, they help you get from like point A to point B way easier. So let's not waste any more time. As mentioned in the earlier tutorial section, the Dreambreaker is essentially just your weapon that you will use to hit enemies to fill your bar. To heal yourself, you can break down cracked walls, each wall having their own little set number of hits it'll take for it to actually break. And it can also be thrown in the air, and you can kick it at enemies, which I don't see a purpose of doing that, but you do you. Indignation is located within that crossroads of Castle Sansa. And once you find this, it's basically each time you attack or you fill your magical bar to half, it will upgrade your sword. Level 1 essentially adds longer range to the sword. Level 2 enables you to do more damage. Though after you do heal, the bar goes down and will take a level down with it. So you'll need to refill the bar in order to upgrade your sword to its original power again. The Sungreaves are located within the listless library and is essentially your wall kick. You are given only 3 wall kicks before you have to land on the ground to reset yourself back to 0. And essentially, you can use these wall kicks, or I guess kicking in general, to maximize the distance of a distance. If you need to jump across something, you can jump in the air and then kick, so you can make more distance. And you also, whenever you do kick off a wall, you will kick to the other side. So if you kick to the right, then you will be aiming towards the left once you kick off that wall. Other than that, that's kind of all this is. It is just your basic wall kick, but do make sure that, you do have only 3, so make sure you are using it to your advantage. Like I mentioned in the tutorial, Slide is another one that's located with the Dreambreaker, since you get them both at like the earlier stages, I guess. But it just lets you slide under walls, slide under rubble, anything that's like there's a little hole you can go through on the map. And I guess I can say it now, this needs to be paired with another ability called Solar Wind, which is located in Empty Bailey. This is the second half of your slide, which it basically allows you to jump cancel, I suppose, but every time you do slide and then press space, you will get a big boost forward, and this can help you for crossing gaps and whatnot. It's very helpful, but yeah, that's kind of it. Sunsetter is located in Sansa Keep, and this ability will allow you to jump and then slam your Dreambreaker down, which can be used to break through cracked floors, kind of like how you need to hit a cracked wall to get through it. But it also grants you the ability to jump, slam your Dreambreaker down, and then press space again, which lets you have a higher jump, which can be used in tandem with the wall kicks to essentially get you to a higher point, and it's very useful. Strike Break is located in Sansa Keep as well. This ability basically allows you to perform a heavy swing to break through these really specific, I guess, heavy barriers with this kind of green aura around them. It's pretty simple, and it's helpful to get to different areas of the map. Cling Gem is essentially just your wall ride ability. It's very good for getting across like a long set of rooms that you can't really, jump over, or you don't have enough wall kicks to get over it. But you do have to realize that it does last for only like maybe 3 to 4 seconds before it starts giving out and you will fall down. But other than that, it gives you your Cling Sleeve, which is just like another cosmetic, and it's a little cool detail. Soul Cutter is located within Twilight Theater, and this ability essentially just allows you to click and hold to fire a disc from your Dreambreaker, though it will spend magical power to do so. And this can help with like distances that you have to hit a lever from or something, but you can use it on enemies to do like high amounts of damage. Though if you do run out of magical power, you can still click and hold, but it will fire a much less powerful disc from it. So either way, it's very useful for just, I guess, traversing, since some places do need you to hit a lever from a distance. Other than that, that's it. Ascendant Light is located in Underbelly, and this ability essentially lets you bounce off enemies, and there's also these purple orbs that will be around the map that you will need to, find those to progress more. But it will also light up your sword, and it will allow you to see a lot better in darker spaces, kind of like how Dilapidated Dungeon and Underbelly, they're both pretty dark, so this is an all-around really good ability. Memento can be found in that one, first save point that you have in Castle Sansa, and it essentially just gives you a mental map of each of the rooms that you've already been to. This was added in an update that was, again, probably the most recent update, which was 2 years ago. But it's very useful for just getting to know your surroundings, and just if you don't know how to get to a specific room again, then you always have that. Just hold down tab and you can see it. Now we'll talk about the aspects. These are these little green orbs that you'll find around the map that give you small little buffs to your already existing abilities, or just general movement. And yeah, that's all the aspects are really kind of used for. But I mean, they're still helpful regardless. Good Graces is essentially a buff to your healing. So now instead of healing just 1 pip back, you'll be healing 1.5 pips back. But if you collect the second Good Graces one, that will be somewhere around the map, you'll heal back 2 pips instead of 1.5. So it's just all around really good for healing. Clear Mind will allow you to hold more magical power, and there are 3 in total that you can pick up, each adding to the max amount that you can hold at a time, which again, is very useful for the abilities that take, magic power to use. Pilgrimage essentially is just, it lets you move around while you're healing now. Though only one of these can be found, you can't stack it anymore, or else I think it would be a bit powerful. But I guess this would be a little bit useful for situations where you need to dodge out the way, though it is quite slow, so just be aware of that. Empathy allows you to get more magical power upon actually hitting an enemy, and it fills the bar a lot faster. You can find 2 of these around the map, and each adding, I guess, more power whenever you hit an enemy. Aerial Finesse essentially just allows you to deny a knockback. I personally, I don't think I ever got use from it, but it just says that if you jump after you get knocked back, then you basically just get back on your feet. So I guess that's useful in some situations. But yeah, there's only one of this aspect as well, so you can't stack it. Helical Power essentially gives you a 4th air kick, which lets you basically wall kick 4 times now. And this can be very useful for some areas of the map that you might be struggling just getting there with the 3 kicks by itself. And there's only one of this aspect. You can only get 4 kicks in this game. You can't get any more. But it's still very helpful regardless. Martial Prowess is essentially just you deal more damage when attacking. This can just be useful if you want to quickly get by things. You can only find one of this aspect. It's not stackable, so take that as you will. I'll just stick these kind of, I guess, miscellaneous items into one little section, but In this, I'll just include the life up pieces, the major keys, and the small keys. The life up pieces are these little things that you'll find around the map. They kind of look like your health, but you'll only find like one half of it. But if you collect 3 of these, then you will be given a extra health pip, or circle, or whatever you want to call it. You can get up a total of 5 of these, which that gives you 8 health pips, which is extremely good, because if you get all those, you really can't die in this game. If you explored Tower Remains a lot, then you'll probably find that on the very top of it, it talked about these keys that needed to be found in certain areas. These are the 5 major keys that will essentially progress you to the final boss of the game. But other than that, that's kind of all they're used for. They don't really have any other real use besides unlocking the final boss. Along with the major keys, you'll find these little white keys, these little small keys. These will be used to open like any locked doors that might be on the map, though the small keys are very hidden and they are in some annoying spots sometimes, I won't lie. But if you do get them, this is how you can unlock like cosmetics and whatnot, or just like a little shortcut to get to another side of the map. But yeah, that's kind of it. This game does also have a few attires, I guess you could say, that you could put on SYBIL. Like, if you press escape, there's a little section called attire, and upon pressing it, you'll be seeing that there are clothing that you can gain throughout the game, but some of them are either from doing time trials, or some of them will be gained from grabbing abilities. The basic vest is just that is literally what you started out with at the beginning of the game. There's not much else to it. Big pants, that only shows up if you have the option selected, and the options menu that just says give SYBIL pants. This, as it implies, it just gives her big baggy pants, but that's kind of just it. The Sungreaves and the Cling Sleeve both come from their respective abilities. Not much else I can really say about it. You get them when you get them, and it'll just show up on your character. It usually just always automatically puts it on SYBIL after you do get the abilities, unless you have some other attire selected. But yeah, that's it. Now, for the other ones, like Soldier, Professional, Soul Sister, Classy, XIX, Sleepy Time, and Bleeding Heart, you will have to do these time trials that are located around the map, which there'll be these little purple orbs that you'll see, and you essentially, once you hit it, you'll have to complete a time trial, essentially just running into these other orbs and getting them all within the time limit. And after you do, it will spawn a green orb in the place that the time trial orb was, and essentially you just grab it from there. But if you do fail it, then you will have to just keep trying until you do get a time that's below the time that's displayed. But yeah, that's how you get those. Now we can move on to the enemies that you'll probably be facing, if you really want to call them enemies, that is. They act very, very simple, but they can be a nuisance at a lot of times, especially if you're trying to just like quickly get by an area. So yeah, well, let's talk about them. The first one I talked about in the tutorial, aka the little half-hatched egg, I guess. These little guys that just kind of walk around, they don't really do much, besides if you run into them, you'll get hurt. But they are, again, a good source for your magical power, so Don't be afraid to kill them. The spiked wheel are these little yellow spike wheels with an eye in the middle. They're very tough to kill, but they can be good for grinding your magical power since they don't really do anything besides roll up a wall or just roll on a surface. They can't really change their direction. So yeah, you can grind off these guys. Lil Jerry are essentially just these little rats or creatures that they just have a massive tuba that they'll essentially, if you get too close, will blow notes out towards you. But you can't hit these like right back into them, which it will be very useful because they do. It's like a kind of a scatter shot the way they shoot their notes. But I'd also be aware that these guys, they also love to spawn around other enemy types, so just be aware of your surroundings and make sure you can fight them and not just like get beat up by some other enemy. Living swords are these little, I guess, I don't know, these little swords that are kind of just around the map. They'll do like a flip if they see you. They can be a bit of a nuisance, but I mean, they do play a sound when they spot you, and you can dodge them really easily since they do like almost entirely flip over you. And they can either spawn normally or they will spawn after killing another enemy, which I will get into. But they can be a bit annoying, but they're not too bad. The Thunder Hands are these little white hands that you'll see across the map. They have a yellow finger pointing up to the sky and will shoot these little lightning orbs at you. You can deflect them just like you can with the little Jerry, but I will say that these guys are so annoying in some areas because there are some areas where you kind of can't kill them quickly, so they will be able to just like keep shooting at you. All you really can do is dodge, but they are annoying. I'll just let you know that they are killable, but their placement is very annoying sometimes. The chandeliers are you don't see them a lot, though they will be just floating around certain like sections of the map to like block you off. But they aren't really that bad. All they do is just float back and forth. They're just simple enemies, kind of like the half-hatched egg. I wouldn't suggest trying to kill them because they do have a lot of HP, so just try to get around them, which that's pretty easy to do. But yeah, that's kind of it. Handmaids are probably the second worst enemy to fight in this game because they move around a lot. They will try to dodge and hit you, but all you need to know is they'll try to spawn plates that will track you upon launching. They'll try and spin at you and try to hit you with their feet, which that will cause you to get knocked back and you will drop your sword. So that's really fun. But other than that, they can be easily dealt with, but they are just extremely annoying because their attacks are... oh, they're a bit of a nuisance. Living armor is probably the most annoying enemy to deal with, since they are essentially just strong eyes but nerfed down a little bit. But most of their attacks, they do, if they hit you, they will knock you back, and they also have a lot of HP, so you gotta be dodging pretty well. But they are pretty slow, which is good, because if you need to get out of an area, then you can just easily do that. But the attacks that you all just need to know is they will just sling rocks at you, they will swing at you and sweep their sword, and they can, of course, stun you and knock you back and make you drop your Dreambreaker as well, kind of like how Strong Eyes did before. Now that we've got all of that discussion out of the way, we can now talk about the finale of the game, which, buckle in for this. But essentially, once you grab all 5 major keys and head back to Tower Remains, you will essentially be able to unlock the door and follow the pathway up, which will bring you to the 9th area of the game. Yeah, I lied. There's not 8, there's actually 9 areas. And this ninth one is called Distorted Memory. I'll let you see what happens. This here is the princess, the person you've been chasing after this whole time. This boss will put some of your skills to the test, mainly like dodging and deflecting. She has some fairly simple attacks, but you will probably get hit by quite a lot. Her attacks consist of teleporting around in order to trip you up. She'll spawn in these green tiled orbs that will bounce around and will damage you if you touch them. She'll teleport in front of you and lock onto you in order to swing at you. She can spawn a little white ball that can be deflected back at her to damage her. She can spawn in a giant red orb that will follow you around and basically forces you to keep moving, or it'll hit you and knock you back, which will make you drop your Dream Breaker. She can spin around, causing a bunch of purple orbs to spread out in a circular motion. These orbs can be deflected, but they might be a bit risky since you could easily get smacked by another one. She will start to spin around and aim at you while spinning. If she hits a wall, she'll bounce off it a certain amount of times before stopping. Though if she does hit you, it is very possible that she will combo you. There is a signal when Phase 2 does start, which will only activate upon doing enough damage to her, which will be audible by a glass breaking noise, which will make her more aggressive and make her attacks have a lot more dodging involved. Other than that, I really enjoyed this boss. I also really liked the music they had in tandem with it. It's probably one of the best tracks they had in the game, if I'm being honest, beating even Empty Bailey for me. Once you do eventually beat the princess, your screen will slowly fade to white, and the final set of dialogue will play. Not really the kind of person you want to hang out with, right? I barely remember what she was really like at this point. Oh, sorry. You're probably wondering who I am. Honestly, I don't really know anymore. Nobody special, I guess. But then, that's the whole reason you're here, right? I get it. I can't just hide here forever and pretend I don't exist. I'm sure I'll find something worth being awake for. Maybe I'll finally get into photography. That'd be nice, I think. So thanks, goat, bunny, cat lady. SYBIL? Got it. I'll make sure to write it down as soon as I wake up. I don't want to forget you, too. I'm sure you've got someone else to help out, right? So yeah, thanks. Take care, SYBIL. Honestly, that ending makes me quite sad that this game wasn't, you know, continued. Because it clearly seems like, uh, if this game was not made for a game jam, we'd be seeing a lot more. But, hey, beggars can't be choosers, so I'm satisfied with the product we have now. Now that we're done with everything, though, I guess we can talk about SYBIL, since she is the main character that you're playing as. She seems to be a very mobile and athletic character. She's described as like, I guess, a goat, bunny, cat, lady, which yeah, I guess that does make sense, and she does have all the aspects of all three of those creatures. But in my opinion, I really love her design. I love everything about her. She is definitely one of my favorite protagonists in any game. And all the attire she has It all just adds a flair to her. It's really nice. But other than that, I don't think there's really anything in say in terms of lore and whatnot, because there wasn't really any lore to follow with this game. It's kind of just you save someone from an like never-ending dream. But hey, it was still fun, and I really love Sybil. I wish we would see more of her, but again, I'm satisfied. And well, I guess that technically wraps everything up. I honestly really enjoyed this game. Of course, I do wish there was more to do, because as of right now, it is kind of, you get to point A to point B, you collect abilities, you can complete the game without all the abilities. It's a pretty simplistic game, but I enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favorite games of all time. But I'd suggest that you guys go and all play it. Please, please support the creator, because they really did an amazing job on this game. Everyone on their team did such a good job. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you whenever I see you. Okay, well, this was my first time doing this kind of style of I guess video, doing like a little game review. But I hope it was good. If you guys would like to see me change anything with like future game reviews, then just let me know. But sorry if it's a bit crusty. Sorry if like I don't talk proper. I sound like I'm reading a script. But other than that, I really hope you guys did enjoy, and hopefully I'll be doing more of these in the future. But for right now, I will be thinking about what to do next. Before I do end like everything off, I just wanna, give my little take on the end of Pseudoregalia, because that final dialogue sentence, like that whole sequence, I guess, that really stuck with me, I guess, because in all reality, if you're escaping to dreams for like, I guess, a distraction or something, just remember you are never truly alone. Everyone has their bad days, and you will always be in the gutter. There's days where you just cannot escape it, but just remember there is always somebody there to like, there's someone always there to get you back on your feet. There's someone there to always pat you on the back and tell you that everything's good. There's always going to be someone there to love you unconditionally. And you should never have to have the feeling that you can only really live in your imagination. I know that feeling all too well, and it's very demotivating. But I want you guys to know that you are very much loved by everyone in your life, even if you don't feel like it, even if your parents or people in your immediate life aren't the greatest. You have friends that you can talk to. I at least hope you can talk to, that love you. They all love you. They want what's best for you. But everyone has their bad days. But I do hope that if you do feel the way that like this girl in this ending felt, don't be afraid to just ask for help sometimes. That's all I wanted to say though. I'll see you guys later. Actually, now. Like, I'll end it now. And remember, don't get caught in an everlasting dream, or else a certain goat, bunny, cat lady might invade your dreams and save you. Hey, that doesn't sound so bad, does it?